We're back. So I'm just gonna cut straight to it because it's actually like a very, very sensitive topic. Let me just adjust the camera. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Dorothy, what are you doing? Let me just give you some background info, okay? Basically, my mom, before I got married, my mom was like, you know, make sure when on your reception that you should tell everybody that you was a virgin before you married, you really kept yourself, 28 years old, yeah, really. I was like, no way am I doing that, because like, yeah, I was a virgin. I was fully a virgin up to the age of 28. But there's a whole scope to this virginity thing that I feel like we need to address here. Even if you are a virgin, it doesn't mean that you haven't given your heart away. If you're a virgin, doesn't mean that you haven't touched nobody's pee-pee. Let's be honest. Let's tell the truth. Okay? If you have touched his pee-pee, if you've ever touched his pee-pee, I'm sorry. There's so many things that, like, it really actually goes against, like, purity and holiness. So, what was it like before getting married? Y'all want to know what it was like having sex for the first time? I'm not telling you. So, okay, what was it like? Marriage seems like, it makes everything before marriage seem like such a blur. Yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. But before I got married, I was really like, no holding hands, no kissing. So I literally had my first kiss when I was like 24 years old. And I held hands with someone for the first time when I was like 25 or something. I don't know, it was just so silly. But up to that point, my earliest memory of wanting to keep my virginity was, I had a friend when I was younger and she was like much older than me. She always used to say to me, oh Dorothy, who's your boyfriend at school? And I'd be like, no, I don't have no boyfriend. She'll be like, good, because if I catch you with a boyfriend, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna da-da-da-da-da. And it almost made me like scared to like be talking to anyone. Because I saw like this girl like as like an older sister figure, and I felt like I'd be in like so much trouble if I turned around to her and said like, yeah, I've had sex. So like it's actually really warped. I like avoided like male contact for a really long time, and that was like part of it. And another part of it was I generally was really scared to like talk to guys. Talking to a boy, I would literally be shaking like, oh my gosh, like, oh my days. Like if a guy ever spoke to me, I would just be like, hi, my name's Dorothy. I had like no confidence. And so I'm kind of like saying all of this in stages, yeah? So like the thing about the older girl, that was like the outer surface. Then underneath that surface was generally being scared to talk to guys. And then underneath that surface was just being completely insecure, completely like self-esteem did not exist in my life. So that level of like insecurity and low self-esteem just made me be very like fearful to be loved, fearful to love. And that kind of followed me to like my adult years, because I remember even at like college, university, I was still like really scared to be close to men. There was one guy that I liked, but still I was just scared. I was scared to like say how I feel. So basically, because I was like that, I was always the friend, you know. Dot, oh yeah, I know Dot. Yeah, Dot. Yeah, Dot, she's a cool girl, you know. I was always that like friend who was a girl, but never the girlfriend. Oh Lord, thank you for delivering me, because I was all scared. And I was usually close to guys that I liked inside, but they would never ever know, because again, I was just like really scared. Rewinding it back again. So when I was at school, I started like dating this like older guy. Oh my days, I was so gassed. I was like to all my friends, yeah, I got another boyfriend, did it? By the way, this relationship lasted for like 3 weeks and 5 days. yeah, so like I started dating this older guy and I thought I was all that and a piece of cake. We were sitting on the bus one day, going somewhere, I don't know. And he was like to me, Dorothy, so, you know, like we're going out for like a few weeks. I was just wondering if, you know, like you're ready for that next stage. And I was like, oh, marriage, yes, let's do this. Age 16, marriage. And he was like, no, I mean like, you know, what boyfriend and girlfriend do. And I was just like, what do boyfriends and girlfriends do? Like, yeah, you know, that next stage, you know. At this point, I think I was getting it, but I didn't want to jump the gun in it because I'd already jumped the gun with marriage. So I was like, okay, I actually asked him, like, what do you actually mean? And he was just like, yeah, are you ready to have sex? Eh? These times, yeah, I was even shaking sitting on the bus next to him because I was like, oh my gosh, what if he touches my leg? What am I gonna do? Like, I was just so, even to call him my boyfriend, like I don't know why, I just used to tremble so much. Like, but like my fear would just get the best of me. I'll be literally sweating. I'll be sweating like when he calls me and he says like, oh babe, oh my gosh, he called me babe. Like, I don't know why I was so fearful. Anyway, we've discussed it earlier in the videos because, yeah, low self-esteem. So when he said, are you ready for sex? Please forget that. I said, there's no way I'm having sex with you. There's no way on this earth. Like, what? I was so disgusted. I was like so mad as well. Like, I was like, how dare you even think I want to have sex with you? And we're not even married. Like, I was super Christian. Ain't nobody getting in my pants. Nobody is getting in my pants. So I kind of stopped talking to him after that. Like a few days after that, it was very awkward, and he'll be calling me and be like, oh, I'm sorry that I suggested it so early. And I was just like, I was thinking of dumping him. So I was going all mute. And this is coming from someone that literally, like, I would tremble at like a guy calling me. Now I have the confidence to be like, me, I'm not talking to you because you asked me to have sex with you. But anyway, so my confidence started to grow. But at the same time, I was like, okay, like, you know, it's kind of cute, you know, he kind of wants to have sex with me, but I don't want to have sex. Like, okay, maybe I have some vim going on, you know, like maybe I'm kind of like a butting, you know. Cut a long story short, he broke up with me and he told me straight, I'm breaking up with you because you weren't going to give it up to me, and that's just that in it. Like, you know, there's plenty of other girls out there that will give it up to man. Tutus, he got someone else pregnant within a few weeks later. That's another story. After that whole saga, like, of going out with someone for like a really short time, it was like my first ever mini relationship, my first ever situationship, and then he breaks up with me so suddenly, and then he gets someone else pregnant. It really like traumatized me and made me feel like I'm worth it, but I'm not worth it. Like, I was worth being in a relationship with, but I wasn't worth like being waited out for. I think that even really like knocked my confidence even more, and I just became like so like into myself. Like, oh my gosh, how can this happen to me? I was only 16 years old. I was like so confused. Like, why would someone want to like, you know, do that to like break my heart in that kind of way? It kind of like affirmed to me like why I should wait for the right person, because not only was he capable of going out with me, he was also capable of impregnating me because he did it to someone else. Let's just be real. And also around that time I had a dream that like I was like pregnant for him. Oh, disgusting. And then my friend had the same dream, and all these confirmation, even my auntie had a dream that I was pregnant. So everything was just saying to me like, you know, like, this is really serious. Like, you actually can't stay. You can't even want to be with him. You can't pursue. Because even after we broke up, we were still kind of talking. And I remember him asking me, do we want to get back together? And I was just like, no. Like, I just feel like at that point, I wasn't like before I was like super Christian, I was very religious, obviously saying like no sex before marriage, but I felt like I didn't have a direct relationship with God. Through God speaking to me in my dreams, being like, do you know what, if you get back with this guy, you're gonna get pregnant, and him actually getting someone else pregnant, I was like, there is a God. Jesus, you got me. That traumatizing experience really just made me like very cautious, and I was cautious but hurt at the same time. I almost used that situation to fight all men after that. Like literally my motto was all men are trash. That was my thing, because if I could be treated that way at such a young age, then what is it for the future? So I know like everybody doesn't have this story, like, so I'm not actually bragging or boasting about like me being a virgin. Like I said at the beginning, it's more about me, like I want to just give you like my journey so you can understand like what it is like for a Christian girl to go through the motions and then get to the marriage point and then have sex. One thing that really affected me that I only really kind of discovered in marriage is my intimacy levels. So, oh gosh, guys, this is what I'm saying. Oh, it's not just about being a virgin. It's not just about being a virgin. I can't even emphasize this anymore, because like literally like me being so hostile towards men and being like, I don't want to talk to them, I don't want to communicate with them, I don't want them to touch me, I don't want them to do this, I don't want them to do that. I literally was becoming like, so the walls were just up. And when like my husband is trying to like be intimate with me, I'm struggling because it's like I'm not used to this. So yeah, like of course you shouldn't have sex before marriage, but like don't make the mistake I made, just being just so like hostile, like don't touch me, don't, even like when my own family members are like for example, like if I hug a family member, it's like for a second. I have like major hugging problems, because it's like, you know, it's almost like, you know, I growing up being quite religious and not really having a close relationship with God, I felt like my religious state says don't touch anyone, don't look at anyone, don't be physical, you're gonna sin, you're gonna die if that happens. But on the flip side, like the physical side of me was dying, having no real emotional connections or no physical connections with people. By the way, I'm talking about a hug, yeah, because I literally despise hugging people. I don't know. Being so like shut down in those areas, I struggled to be intimate with my husband. Like, yeah, when I first got married, I struggled with like, well, even when we first met each other, I struggled with touch. Like, you know, like if he put his arm around me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, are we sinning? If he like tried to hold my hand, I'd be like, oh my gosh, are we sinning? And then my reaction is, get off me. But that now says to him that, oh, maybe she doesn't want me, or maybe she doesn't want to be with me, that kind of thing. Also on the side of like my heart state as well. So most things that I did, like my reaction to guys, was from like a broken place. That first situation when I was 16 was not the first time that I've been heartbroken. But because of like so many heartbreaks, I was like, yeah, do you know, yeah, that guy was rubbish. It even shows me why I should be a virgin. But actually my reaction should have been, yeah, that situation happened and I need to draw close to God for him to heal me, for him to like hold me. I just want to give you like this really like, whew, child, I feel like I'm about to get emotional. I want to give you this story, right? So I was at university and I invited a guy around to stay in my room. Don't tell my mom! Yeah, I invited him round and he stayed in my place for a few days. And I knew it was wrong, like obviously, and at that point I felt like it's almost like I wanted him to try and do something because I really liked him. So I thought maybe the way I can get him was, you know, maybe if he can try something in the nighttime, or like, you know how it goes. So he stayed over and like nothing happened. Like I think the most he put his arm around me was, yeah. And when he left, I had like, I can't remember if it was a dream or vision, but I had this vision, right, of so university was really hard for me. I had this vision of God like holding me, like literally just holding me through the whole process of university. And I remember one time I was in my room, I was like crying so much. I was like, God, like I can't do this uni thing anymore. The work is too hard. I was hating my course. And I remember like, I just felt like, you know, just like a warm hug, like a fatherly hug. So when that guy left my place, I had, again, I can't remember if it was dream or vision, but I saw myself being hugged by God again. And God said to me, like, you allowed him to hug you. Why didn't you ask me to hug you at that time? And I literally just broke down. I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt like I'd replaced that guy for God in my life. Like I really wanted him to hold me and, you know, spooning. Oh, disgusting. Oh, sorry, when I think about this, I just get really sickened. You know, I just wanted to be spooned. Let's just tell the truth. Obviously, like, I was a virgin, so I didn't know much past, like, you know, spooning. And also I'd heard what, like, other people do and stuff, but I really wanted someone to just, like, hold me, you know? And God said to me that I've been holding you, like, literally your whole life. Like, why did you want this guy to come and hold you? So it really, really spoke to me again, like, just a matter of, like, you know, replacing guys for God. And, you know, this whole debate, like, is it okay to kiss? Is it okay to do that? Is it okay to do this? And in hindsight, I wish I didn't do anything, literally. I wish I didn't spoon. I wish I didn't allow boys to touch my bum or touch my breasts or whatever. Like, I wish that I just allowed God to just be like my holder and just literally secure me up to that day, you know, trying to find so many securing moments, like I was saying, like the spooning and, oh, I want to date this person because it will make me feel better about myself, or I want to pursue a husband because my life would be complete. But like, God has made our life complete already. I don't know what the answers are, whether you shouldn't kiss or you shouldn't, or blah, 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 but like, all I do know is that you have to allow God to be like your everything. Literally, allowing God to be your everything is more satisfying than having a boyfriend. Trust me, it's much more satisfying, because now, like, you know, my relationship has grown with God. I'm still trying, every single day I'm still walking towards the cross, man. But like, now that my relationship is much stronger than it was when I was younger, and I'm married, I can safely say that having a relationship with God is above everything. Is above my marriage, is above my relationship, is above me having sex. Like, the fulfillment that I get with being in God's presence is like, is just next to none. Do you know what I mean? If you're younger and watching this, I really, really want to encourage you to, like, just pursue God with your whole heart. Honestly, like, Jesus has done it all. Like, just give your whole heart to Jesus. And of course you're going to desire to get married. Of course you're going to desire a boyfriend. But Jesus is, he satisfies like our deep longings. He satisfies our soul. So in those moments where you feel like, oh my gosh, like, I need a husband, Jesus comes in and it's just like, do you know what? Even though you don't have a husband yet, like, I'm here with you and I've got you, like, through eternity. Oh, just love him so much. So, yeah, that's kind of like my experience. That was before marriage. Okay, so what was it like giving up your virginity on your wedding day? I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this. Where's Precious? Honestly, I'm just being so honest with you guys. Like, giving my virginity up to my husband was the best decision I've made in my whole life. Like, sorry, after getting married, after giving my life to Christ, sorry. I'm not like comparing it to what I've done in the past. I'm not comparing it to anyone that I've been with in the past. And you know what? He even said to me as well, he felt like it was the first time that he had had sex. And that to me is just so beautiful. Like, that's what the Lord can do, because it's so special. It's like, it's so God ordained. Like, it's past a physical experience. It's like a spiritual experience as well. Like, God he just marries you again in that moment. And it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Because when two people come together who have never had sex before and have it for the first time, there's like no expectations. again, it's God. It's a precious gift given by God, and it's just so precious. It's like, I imagine it like a newborn baby. Like, you wouldn't like casually drop a newborn baby on the floor. Like, that's how precious our sex life is, and the gift of having sex. So you don't drop a baby on the floor. You don't drop your pants on the floor for any guy. Like, you give your baby milk, because that's what's the most healthiest for your baby at the age. You know, likewise, you don't give yourself to people so easily. Having sex prematurely, which is before marriage, is like, honestly, like, you would actually, you just literally live to regret it. You would live to regret the fact that you didn't wait for your husband or your wife. So I just say, just like, yeah, just hold on, just wait, like, it's possible. And if you are having sex now, it's never too late to stop. Never, ever, ever too late to stop. Like, firstly, repent. God is Father is a forgiving Father. Jesus died for our sins. Honestly, like, you can just say, Lord, I repent. And you have to turn away. You have to say, I'm turning away from this because I know it's wrong. Like, so many people come up with reasons why you shouldn't have sex. Oh, because of this, because of that. Even health-wise, blah, blah, blah. Look, just obey God, innit? That's the bottom line. If there's no other reason, just let it be for your love for the Lord. Like, if you say you love God so much, hold out. You have to obey. Like, it's about obedience. Like I said, I made many mistakes. I gave my heart away as a virgin. I gave my emotions away as a virgin. I didn't wait for my husband. I tried to pursue other people as a virgin. So, you know, like, it's attached to so many things. And even touching wise, yeah, I kissed before marriage, allow guys to touch me before marriage, but it doesn't mean that I'm like super pure, super holy because, you know, like, I'm a virgin. What only makes you holy is by being in Jesus Christ. We are holy only because he is holy. And being in Christ is like, it is over being a virgin, like, the best decision you can make as well. So, like, yeah, pursuing a relationship with God, like, coming closer to him, really, really does help you wait. And sometimes I receive messages from like older women as well. Like, it hurts me when there's nothing I can say to say, oh, you know, like, for example, I can't say, oh, your husband's coming, or don't worry, God will do it for you like he did it for me. I can't say that. But the only hope that I can give people is like the relationship that I've had with Jesus. Like, he's honestly set me free from, even there was a point I was like so depressed that I was single. He set me free from that depression, because it's unhealthy. Like, how can you want something so much? Like, it affects your health, it affects your how social you are with people, it affects your love for people. Like, you start to hate all your exes. Like, I would rather be healthy, holy and happy. I'd rather be healthy, holy and happy than you know, desperate for a relationship or to be married, you know. So yeah, God really did that transformation in my life, and I just believe like he can do it for anyone that just believes in him, seriously. So like, I know I started off talking about like virginity and stuff like that, but it's just this is just kind of like what's on my heart, and I really hope that like someone can really like connect with this. And I'm so happy to answer any questions. Yeah, that's it from me, guys. But subscribe to my channel, please. Subscribe to my channel, share, like, comment, do all that fun stuff, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye now.